Hello there, it's Sarah, bringing you another exciting breakdown. This time we are covering the action-packed Karate Kid's legends. Fists and feet will be flying, but before we get into that, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more reviews and breakdowns in the future. With that being said, let's get on with it. The film kicks off with a flashback to 1986, around the time of the second Karate Kid movie, where Daniel LaRusso goes with Mr. Miyagi to visit his home village. A short recap in that film, Miyagi returns to face an old adversary to win the hand of the woman he loves, but ends up becoming friends with him by the end. Meanwhile, Daniel gets into yet another beef with a guy over a girl. There's a running theme here, and while he defeats him at the end of the film, if you've seen Cobra Kai, they become quite good friends in the future. Okay, so anyway, the flashback to 1986, Miyagi is telling Daniel about Shinpu Sensei and how Miyagi's karate was first discovered. While lost at sea, Shinpu Sensei was taken in with the Han family and learned Kung Fu while teaching them some of the karate he knew. This created their very own unique fighting style. We cut to China and Mr. Han is now running an entire school, teaching several kids the art of Kung Fu, but especially his star pupil Lee. Well, Lee isn't actually supposed to be studying Kung Fu as his mother disapproves. When she shows up at school, she gives Mr. Han the bad news. They are moving to New York City, where she has taken a job as a doctor, and Lee overhears, making him angry. Thus begins our story as many of the previous Karate Kid films have. A young boy in a new city starting over, just as he's hitting the age where he's trying to figure himself out. It's his first night in the city and the bro is hungry. And what's the best food to get in New York City? A slice of pizza, of course. So he heads to a nearby local pizzeria. Pizzeria? And utters the most moronic words only an outsider would ask for. You guys have stuffed crust. Clearly the czar this boy had come from is a chain and the owner rips a poor kid. But he's saved from further humiliation when his daughter Mia comes out and takes his order. She nicknames him Stuffed Crust and gives him a warm smile and welcomes him to the city. The following day he meets up with her while she's out running errands and helps her carry her stuff. Along the way they pass a karate school and she warns him they're just not that good. They end up at an old Chinese-owned repair shop, where he uses his ability to speak Mandarin to score her a discount, and they become fast friends after that. Later though, on the subway they run into her ex, Connor, a real douche nozzle. He of course can't resist giving poor Lee a black eye. Of course, why wouldn't he? When Lee's mother sees it, she scolds him but says he had no choice. But his mother warns there is always another choice. At school, Connor picks on Lee some more and embarrasses him in front of his whole class by drop kicking him down the steps. This kid just can't catch a break, it seems. Lee and Mia's father, Victor, have grown closer as Lee spends a lot of time at the pizzeria. And one night, some thugs working for a bookie stop by trying to put a hit on good old dad. Lee steps in and surprisingly lays a smackdown on all three of these assailants, sending them scurrying away. Victor is impressed and asks Lee if he could teach him some Kung Fu, as it would come in handy for his upcoming boxing fight. Lee initially refused, but the two have a heart-to-heart where we learn that Lee had an older brother, who after winning a tournament fight was sought out by the loser and stabbed and killed right in front of him, and this is why his mother is so against him fighting. But Victor reminds him he won't be the one fighting, and so Lee agrees to train him. As several fight montages play out, we also get a moment where Mia invites Lee to a carnival, but when Lee shows up, Connor is all over her, and so he just leaves. The day of the fight approaches, and Lee is ignoring Mia, but she's not gonna let that slide, so she confronts him about it. and Lee basically confesses his feelings for her. The two are about to kiss when they are interrupted by Victor, who says Lee better be glad that he's not fighting him tonight. Womp womp. The first few rounds don't go so great, but then Victor takes all the lesson he's learned and starts taking control of the match. This forces the bookie, who owns the other fighter, to cheat, and Victor takes a cut of illegal hit to the head, which causes him to get knocked out and have to be rushed to the hospital. Lee is scared another person gets badly hurt because of fighting, when Lee's mother just happens to work at this hospital. Of course she does. And she operates on Victor, but scolds Lee for being involved in fighting once again. When Lee returns home, he tears down all of his Kung Fu film posters and anything that reminds him of the martial arts world. He even ignores calls from Mr. Han, who keeps keeping in touch and regularly checking in on him. One day when Lee comes home from school, he finds a window open to his apartment and no one else is home, when suddenly a man comes flying out of the shadows and begins attacking him. Guess what? It's Mr. Han. He's come to reinvigorate Lee's spirit. I just want to sidestep here and say it's super evident that Jackie Chan had a hand in directing the fight scenes and doing the choreography, as they very much have the Buster Keaton feel to him, and the kid is a natural. He may not have the goofy facial expressions down just yet, but he can definitely pull off the silly moves. I love Jackie Chan. Absolutely adored him. Anyway, so Lee's mother arrives home and the trio have dinner. Mr. Han has sensed that his former pupil is in trouble, not just physically but spiritually and emotionally. He reminds Lee that he can't control the punches life throws, but he can control when and how he gets back up. Han and Lee go visit Victor the next day and Victor forgives Lee, telling him it's not his fault. Mr. Han pulls out an old Chinese proverb that loosely translates to "when a friend has a problem, we all have a problem," and promises to find a way to help Victor keep his pizzeria, and gets these thugs off his back. Time for some more Kung Fu. Well, duh. Mr. Han is signing up Lee for the 5 Boroughs tournament, which is basically the same as the All Valley in the first Karate Kids film. The prize is big money, and not to mention, if he whoops all their asses in front of the whole world, the bad guys will have to tuck their tails and slink off back into the shadows. But first, Han needs some assistance to make Lee an even better fighter. Cue a trip to sunny California and a visit to Daniel LaRusso. Unlike in Cobra Kai, Daniel isn't some multimillionaire selling cars. He actually lives in Miyagi's old house. Han regales Daniel with tales from the past about how proud Miyagi was of him, and now he's considered him his best friend. He asks Daniel to help train Lee in the ways of Miyagi karate, but Daniel refuses initially. Han, self-assured that Daniel will show, bids him farewell and leaves back to New York. Using a fancy apartment rooftop with a sweet garden as their new training ground, Han puts Lee right to work the moment he returns. Cue up the training montage, mostly watching Lee get his ass kicked. We get a callback to the 2010 film when Han makes Lee do the jacket on, jacket off thing as they're training. Not to make some stereotype observation, but the kid really does look a lot like Bruce Lee. It's uncanny. So about a day or so later, during one of their training regiments, Sensei LaRusso shows up. Now the real training begins. Lee had head start with Kung Fu, as he's been doing it for quite a while back in Beijing, but he's never attempted karate just yet. Daniel has his doubts. How can someone learn karate in only a few weeks? Well, nothing is impossible after all. Daniel learned it in roughly the same amount of time. It's a bit of a rough start, as Han and LaRusso's teaching styles are vastly different, but it doesn't take long for Lee to begin to get a hang of things. Mia in the meantime has been ghosting Lee and it's making him sad. So he makes a big overture to win her back by of course ordering some pizza. When she arrives at the training ground, he's waiting for her in the garden, complete with a nerdy friend to offer her Pepsi in a champagne glass, and tries to work his magic. She missed him, clearly, and while she appreciates what he's doing for her family, she tells him he doesn't have to. It's all forgiven. Young love, so dramatic. So, it's the day of the 5 Boroughs tournament, and well, it's more like a street fight. Less stadium. At least they put mats down on the basketball court. Pretty sure these are the same courts they filmed in the Black Panther movie. Anyway, like most tournaments, you have to win a certain amount of fights and move up the rings. And then if you make it to the finals and of course win, you get the money. The first few fights for Lee are a bit sloppy, but he finds his groove and starts knocking out opponents left and right. Some of the fighters have some unique names like Queen's Tornado, but it doesn't help them much as they are getting rolled over on Lee's rides to the top. Conor, on the other hand, has also steadily been winning, and it looks like the final showdown will be between him and Lee. During one of the matches, some of the thugs who were harassing Victor show up and try to hurt Lee, but both Han and LaRusso put them out of commission. Don't mess with the best! So, the film finally reaches the final fight atop of a skyscraper in downtown Manhattan. The showdown in the sky. I gotta say, the film started off a bit slow, but it's flying at supersonic speed towards the ending here, which is and isn't a good thing. Anyway, so safety concerns aside, this fight should be pretty awesome. Mia shows up to be in his corner, as does Victor, and to Lee's surprise, his mother does as well. To my disappointment, this film ignores all the events of Cobra Kai, so we don't get any cool cameos or show the support for Lee from the extended Miyagi-Do family. So it's up to you as the viewer to decide which continuity you prefer. But LaRusso gives Lee his Miyagi headband, and Lee is ready to win. After all, $50,000 is at stake and his self-worth. He's also got a secret weapon, and no, it's not the crane kick. Instead, it's a tiger kick takedown. It's basically what Sonya Blade does in Mortal Kombat when she flips into a sliding kick and then knocks your legs out from under you, while putting her feet up in your face. Sounds awesome! So the fight begins, round 1, and Lee's heart is pounding out of his chest. Conor has humiliated him and is also the current favourite. Lee's losing some of that self-confidence. Conor comes out strong, landing a kick to the face, 2 points. Lee tries to defend but takes another hit to the chest, 1 more point. Lee is getting angry now and it's making him sloppy. Conor lands another blow and another 2 more points. With a deep breath, Lee retrains his focus and goes on the attack, hitting Conor with the 1-inch punch, 1 point. A kick to the face, 2 more points. Another roundhouse across Conor's face, 2 more points. The score is tied up now. Conor tries a flying kick, which Lee knocks him out of the air and lands a chest hit. A point for Lee. And another hit, 1 more. But then Conor drops low and spins, swiping Lee's face with his foot. 2 more points to Conor. This match is close. Lee gets back up though onto his feet, centering himself once again. Again tied up, 7-7. Conor looks worried at first but recognises the move Lee is about to do. It's the same flip kick he tried at school which he so easily defended against and knocked him down. Except this time Lee changes it up mid-flip into the slide and well, here comes the tiger kick takedown. Lee scores the final point, winning the match. Disgraced, Conor tries to attack Lee when his back is turned, but Lee flips him on his ass onto the mat. And as he prepares to hit him 1 more time, he looks at his sensei Han and calms, then gets up and even helps Conor back to his feet. Everyone celebrates and the world is all good again. Lee and Mia finally kiss and Victor raises him onto his shoulder as Lee cheers with the crowd. What an ending. Oh, but wait, there's a little bit more. We get a little post-credit scene. The pizzeria is open again, and guess what? They have added stuffed crust to the menu. Also, Mr. Hand sends Daniel a pizza all the way to California. Wait a minute, Johnny is here and he wants to open a place with Daniel. Miyagi dough, like the pizza crust, Miyagi dough. Pepperoni is your best defense, so Cobra Kai is connected? Mind blown. So what do you guys think? Are you a Karate Kid fan? Which one is your favourite of the franchise? Please let us know in the comments below. I want to thank you all for checking out the video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more reviews and breakdowns in the future. I have been your host Sarah, and I really do appreciate you being here with me today. Have an amazing day and take care. Goodbye.